Okay, I'm going to do all of 10 in this video, but I have to say I really don't like 10A. So the number of cars sold at Bill's garage each day last week are represented in the pie chart. Bill has lost labels to the pie chart, so he does not know which sector represents which day. However, he does remember that the days go in order around the pie chart, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. He also remembers that he sold exactly 3 cars on each of Monday, Friday, and Sunday. So the question is, how many cars were sold on Wednesday? So what we need to do is figure out which 3 pieces here are the same size. Now it's kind of difficult to do. If you're just eyeing it, you can do a little bit of guess and check. So if this is Sunday, Monday, that doesn't really look good. These don't look the same. Sunday, Monday, that doesn't look the same. Sunday, Monday, that doesn't look the same. Sunday, Monday, okay, these kind of look the same. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Does Friday kind of look like these two? I would say yes, and that does happen to be the case here. But it really is a guess and check to figure out which days are which. So this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, I'm sorry. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You may have noticed, Saturday I'll use an X. R I usually use for Thursday and X I'll use for Saturday or something like that. And the question is, how many cars were sold on Wednesday? So we have being able to identify gives you 1 point already. So we know this is 3, this is 3. We don't really care about this. And then we come to Wednesday. So for me, it's hard to tell. For me personally, I thought, well, it's clearly bigger than 3, so I'm going to put 4. And the answer is 5. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why it's 5. Your guess is as good as mine. I wasn't able to derive any geometry rules from this, so for this rather. So the answer is 5, which gives you the second point, but the first point is doing this component. This part isn't the problem. It was determining that it was 5 and not 4. Really, the fact that it's greater than 3, maybe they'll give you the point for it. But so that's A. B. So when Bill sells a car, he must pay to have it washed. The washing fee per car can vary from day to day, but is the same for all cars washed on that particular day. He makes another pie chart. This has labels, whatever. On which day was the fee charged per car the greatest? So the logic here is just the greatest difference, basically, between the value on the other chart to this chart. So if we look over here, the smallest one, for example, is Tuesday, whereas the biggest one, it appears to be Wednesday. So if we look at Wednesday, Wednesday is still a little bigger, but that makes sense because on Wednesday you washed the most cars. But if we look at Tuesday, Tuesday is the smallest. However, you can't really tell that Tuesday is the smallest because it kind of compensates, especially because Tuesday is clearly smaller than Friday in this other chart. Tuesday's here, Friday's here, clearly smaller. But over here, they're basically the same. So we can assume that Tuesday has the greatest fee charged because it's comparable to all the others, even though generally the fewest number of cars were washed. I did not love 10. There was a lot of conjecture, but overall it wasn't too bad.